So like you said, it like Pam got that email, and then like I was like, hey, so that's me. I'm the guy that you want for this. And then
Totally, you're the guy.
about a week
Yeah.
later, this guy Benno Castine, who's like a legend in the circus world. Like there's even to this day, like my neighbor,
That is so funny.
dude, my neighbor next door, he's from Germany and he knows Flic Flac. Like it's a legendary thing.
No.
I've talked to people like outside who like have just been to Germany and they're like, oh yeah, the circus. Like
It's like
Circus
Cirque du Soleil of
legend.
Germany.
exactly. But like
No.
on like a crazy twisted level, like because dude, all of those acts were so dangerous. Like the
Yeah,
amount
they
of
had like a bit of nitro in there too. They had like the motocross, right?
they had, yeah, they had everything, dude. They had motorcyclists in like a globe, 10 of them. And
Oh,
like
that's insane.
I saw
or
some of that.
sorry, it'd be 11 of them. There'd be five on the bottom, five on the top, like going like this, and one guy would just be going around like the group of them. And I've seen those guys like get twisted
That
up,
shit is insane.
bro.
Oh my God, that is so hashed.
Dude, they did it every single day, bro. Every single
And
day.
you too, right? Okay. So
Yeah.
like, how did you wait? So it was just you at first, and then I think you got Shima on, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So once I met up with that Benno guy, he flew me out to Berlin. We actually watched one of Happy's shows in Berlin, and then we went down to like I can't remember where it was, like Dusseldorf or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they had already like built the roll in, but they needed me to like kind of show them how to build the lip. And so that was like what we did that week. And then he was like Benno was like, okay, you're hired. Like find me a team of crazy like riders. I was like, he's like, I want rollerbladers and BMXers, because the skateboard thing would be too much of a liability if it like flew off into the crowd. Because what people don't know is that ramp, the landing itself, was like just the skinny. It was like 12 feet wide or something like
It
that.
wasn't like the Nitro Circus ramp. It wasn't like the Mega ramp. It was a completely different thing.
Wrong way, left and right,
Yeah, it was really thin.
you were in the crowd. So they like
Mhm.
actually built nets so we wouldn't fall into the crowd because
Just in case.
yeah, just in case. But the ramp would lower down like on chains, and then they would attach the lip to it. So, but if the chains were uneven, sometimes the what's it called, the rolling would be like off kilter.
Wait, so they would lower it down every night?
Dude, it was
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was a completely different ramp every single night for 9 months. No warm up, cold jump.
What?
9 months, 6 days a week, two times Saturdays and Sundays, and it was cold jump, no warm up right after the intermission, and like it's like, okay, go and do your three best tricks. Like, good luck, hope you survive. Like, hopefully the ramp is like level today, and because
Oh my
sometimes
god.
you'd be going down the what's it called, the rolling would be off kilter, and then once you hit the flat bottom, you'd want to like shoot to the right or to the left, so you'd have to like straighten
Yeah.
out. And there was no flat bottom. Actually, Tomek Prisbilic, he actually went on to that show like
Yeah.
later on. And
Tomac. Who's Tomac?
he, I believe he's from Poland.
Mhm. Oh, I know Tomac.
He's
For
a
sure. Yeah,
US
yeah.
guy, super rad,
Yep.
super rad skater. But I think he can probably attest to the fact that ramp was like different every single show, and like there's literally no flat bottom in there. So like
Yeah.
you were either off or you were on, and like, and that whole year we were
So
living.
so how did that work when like they had you guys like, because you tested out before you do the shows, right? They flew you and Brian out, I assume, and then you were like, hey, they were like, hey, test it, or was it like straight to the shows?
No, it was we. This is like even crazier, because we shared the FMX landing and excuse me, I got the beers, guys. Cheers. The FMX landing was like a wood landing with like carpet over it, and that's what we were landing on. But it was also like the lip was here, and typically with the mega ramp, it's like a step up, but this is like a
Yeah.
step down, and we had added like a whole nother meter to the lip. So like for the first month or whatever, we were just going up and then like just coming down on it, and
Like
that
gaps, like gap
Gaps.
impact.
gap
Yeah.
impact like off of a fucking mega ramp.
Oh my God. Every day for
Every
9 months and twice on Saturdays
Yeah, two times Saturdays and Sundays, and we
and
were
Sundays. No days off.
we had Mondays off. That was the only we had. Yeah, we had only Mondays off, and we were also like living above the law, like partying until like 7 o'clock in the morning because like we didn't have any responsibilities.
Yeah,
But
you're also sore and in like a new city every day too. So you're like, all right, well, offer some beers, to relax. And
well,
then
we'd be in a city for like at least like a month or two, like
right.
if they
Okay.
yeah. So which was nice. It's not like we were like touring. We like actually just like had home base, which was cool because
Oh, that is cool.
we also got to like experience the cities and everything like that. We got into a lot of shit. Like me and Shima was fucking sick actually. I mean,
That's cool.
there's like a couple of stories that like go through my head when I think about it. But yeah, dude, it was like
Well, don't let me stop you from telling a cool story.
well, you want to hear about the time that I almost got me and Shima killed in Duisburg?
Sounds like a good story. That's a good place to start.
Yeah, I like that.
So rollerblading, I almost got your favorite rollerblader killed one day. We were coming back from this. We were in, and I think that a lot of like any German guys out there that can comment on this Duisburg, is like it was like the nicest like campground that we had, but it was like the town itself like had nothing. But like where our tent was across the street from this club, so we would like go there and get drunk every single night, and and we were coming back from the club one night with like a case of beer, and there was these like this big group of like car enthusiast guys. I guess they were just like kind of like hoodlums in a way, and they were like driving like doing donuts in the parking lot of our show, and one of these guys like comes like and zooms like literally inches away from me, like tries to like basically hit us with the car like almost 100 miles an hour, and I kicked the car, and that was the worst mistake I could have made because at that point I hear the brakes slam and I just look over at Shima who's like also holding like a 30 case of beer with me, and he looks over at me and he goes, "Dave, you just fucked us." And no sooner that he could say that did I get like pushed down, and I take one of the bottles out to like try to defend myself, and I go and turn around and I see like there are just like 40 people, like the whole parking lot was like ready to kill us.
No.
Like there was a guy with like a knife, there was like brass knuckles or whatever, but we had
these guys had knucks.
What's that story shit?
Dude, these guys fight then. If you got knucks,
yeah,
this is part of your thing.
Who uses knuckles still?
People who like fighting use knuckles.
People
all the
like
time.
that.
They were looking for trouble, dude.
Yeah, if you got knuckles, you're looking for it.
And unfortunately that night I found it. So but
Shima looks at you. I could just see Shima. Dave, you fucked us. Very matter of fact.
I will never forget that. So like,
of course,
and that I get punched in the face, like, and then there's this local that's with us. Thank God that this person was with us because they go up to them and they're saying all this like German shit and they're like, no, blah blah blah, whatever. And then like
he's like, Americans, they can't hold their booze. He's like, come on, they're not like us. Let them go.
I don't know what they said, but they like we got shooed off, and like as like we're walking away, these guys are like kicking like the back of our legs and all this shit as we're trying to walk away. They're taking all of our bottles of beer and like throwing them at us like as we're like walking away. But this is the best part of the story. We actually went back and we got all of that beer and we drank it that night. And
you left the beer there?
We were trying to like run for our lives.
Yeah, of course. Not.
We had like people ready to kill us. Like,
so you
every story has a happy ending.
Beer.
Yeah.
That's a good point. At least this a story with a happy ending is a good story.
We got the beer, and then that was the end of that, dude.
Yeah. Wow.
Dude. Yeah. So that was the moment that I learned like do not. Oh, that was the whole moral of the story. Shima actually taught me this the next day. He's like,
oh, good. She's a wise one.
Yeah, he is a wise one.
He is.
If you've seen his podcast, you would know how righteous the man is.
For sure.
And he looks at me and he goes, Dave, what did you learn last night? And I was like, don't do that shit again. And he goes, no. He says, do not fuck with which you do not know. And those words have like stuck with me to this day. I haven't gotten into a fight since, kind of thing. So
that's a real deal situation for Eric. Like, don't be like, fuck you, because you don't know.
Yeah.
You just don't know when you're going to cross Johnny Brass Knuckles and he's going to come with his boy Peter the Knife. They're just out looking for Dave and Shima,
Yeah, dude, that was definitely not one of my better moments, but
Yeah.
And then you had to skate that day or something, like the next day.
Yeah, we skated the next day. And actually, so this is crazy. So the police got involved and they like found those guys. But what had happened was, oh my God, this is crazy, dude. So the police get those guys, but one of the people in the show like knew the Hells Angels chapter from out there. So the next day they call out the Hells Angels, and like literally a whole section. It's like 2,500 people in that what's it called, in that tent. And like there's just like literally one whole section of just guys in cuts, and Hells Angels like made their presence.
What?
And, like hand to God.
As a result of them knowing that you had fought
Yes,
these people,
and
they showed up to your show to watch you and Shima rollerblade
as and to make presents and to
with their cuts.
What?
With their cuts and their bikes and their chicks, and they were hollering and hooting and screaming the whole thing.
But they were stoked for you guys. So wait, I'm trying to just figure this out.
So
Get into the huge fight with the locals. Why did the Hells Angels come to the show? I'm sorry.
Because one of the people in our show, like his like mother or something like that, was like married into like some motorcycle world, and like knew that chapter of Hells Angels that we were at, and they were like, hey, these guys got fucked with last night. We can't have this. Like because the thing was,
they came for protection.
Yeah, and these guys, like they were like all those like car guys. They came.
No, that's gangsta shit.
Yeah, that's mad responsible, isn't it? It's so responsible for the Hells Angels.
Gangsta shit.
It was the like the most, because those guys were like, and the kids that were like fucked with us or whatever, they were like, they would come back to the parking lot just kind of like waiting for us for the next couple of days.
Yeah,
that's why like the police or whatever got involved. But before like anyone knew that the police were involved, like someone called the Hells Angels to make presents at the show so that nobody would fuck with the show, and the Hells Angels like literally just like kept us good. Wow. Hand to God, bro. Hand to God. Crazy.
Wow, bro. You and that is so cool, man.
Dude, that was the craziest fucking year. The fact that I didn't have my brain injury there was a miracle. Like,
right.
It was basically
I mean, you had to skate with a helmet during that show, right?
Yeah. But like it just didn't matter. Like however you fell on that ramp until they built a new landing. So like I was saying, we were hitting flat for so long that like at one point in time, everybody was just injured. Like it would just be like one day, like one person would be out of the show. And then the next day, like the next two would be out of the show. It's like, well, we can't do a show with because it was just 4 of us initially. And that turned into a crew of 6 of us.
Yeah.
And then they had to close the show down, and then they spent like 30,000 euros or something like that to build us a new like resi landing, like how Nitro Circus had.
Right.
And then
get you guys a fucking landing. What the fuck? Flat. Jump to flat.
Well, Flic Flac didn't last for however many years by buying this and buying that, did they?
Especially like for the fact that you're landing on carpet with rollerblading wheels. Like
you're skating a ramp that FMX people are riding on.